I'm sorry, this damn stupid ass. Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, all my comedy fans, all my Tickle My Funny Bone fans out there, everybody that's viewing in. It's your boy Just, of course. You know what I mean? We back here with another dope interview. Actually, we back with a guest of ours. She's going to be headlining our show this coming Saturday. That's why I had to get it on. I had to get it on this interview today. I'm saying I messed up Sunday. She was going out of town, so I tried to get it Sunday, but we got it today though. And I want everybody to say what's up to Miss RAY DIVA. What's going on?
Hey, comedy fam. How are you guys doing? Hope all is well.
So I was asking a couple questions before we came on. So you're originally from Baltimore, Maryland, right?
Well, no, I'm. If you want to talk originality, come on now. I was born in Ohio, and in Baltimore by way of Philly. So it's a lot going on right now.
Oh, so you just kind of like travel down the river then sometimes.
Yeah, so much.
How long you been in Baltimore?
33 years. So it's like home to me.
Okay, so you've been there for a while then.
Baltimore, it's home.
Okay, because I know there's a few comedians that came out that area, like the DC Baltimore area, like Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence. What's the name from Living Color? The skinny black guy. What's his name?
You're not talking.
Interview.
A skinny black guy from Living Color.
Yeah, the one that's the what character? He did a few characters.
I can't even think because in Living Color has been a minute, but everybody from In Living Color blew up though. Let's just talk about that. Yeah. Nobody stayed stagnant after In Living Color. Nobody.
Right. Everybody blew up on Living Color.
And matter of fact, I want to say blew up. Everybody almost was like on superstar status in comedy.
Oh yeah, I mean from the Wayans brothers to Jim Carrey to Jim Fox, like
Jamie,
going and on. Yeah.
Who else was on In Living Color? Kim Coles was on. A lot of people forget Kim Coles was on the first season of In Living Color.
That's right, she was. And
she didn't get a lot. She didn't get a lot of airtime, but she was on there. So many people. Was Tommy Davidson on In Living Color?
Tommy Davidson, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's originally from the Midwest, but he's from he was raised out in Baltimore too.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I just watched an interview with him on Vlad TV the other day, and he had a crazy backstory. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's interesting.
He was actually abandoned by his biological mother, and he was adopted by white parents.
So I can see where his sense of humor would come from, because Tommy Davidson has always been on the edge, but I never felt like he was nigger edge completely. He was nigger edge, and then at some point it went to mainstream whiteable, and this is totally genius of him. But yeah, I didn't know that about him. But now that I understand it now, because I've watched him do stand up, and I'm like, he's not quite a nigga, but he teeters the line. You know what I'm saying? He's a brilliant guy.
You said that because that's how he was like when growing up. He said that's how when growing up he was like he was treated like that. Like you know what I'm saying, when he was in the white neighborhood, he got called a nigger. And then when he was in the black neighborhood, he got called a cracker lover. You know what I'm saying? So he had
you're in a really good situation in America. You got to pick a side, stay on it, choose it, whatever, until you are old enough to be like, fuck y'all, I'm me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Absolutely. That's when that race thing don't play a part, when you decide who you're going to be and what you're going to do with your life. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, today you can be whoever you want to be. Let me tell you, if I got the right makeup on, the right wig on, I'm Puerto Rican. I can go from Puerto Rican to Haitian. I could be a black motherfucker tomorrow. Like, you can be whatever you want to be in America nowadays, because everything is made for physicality. Everything is presentation oriented. It's easy to get surgery. It's easy if you go on bald to have hair. It's easy to have dreads if you didn't take the years to grow the locks. It's just everything you could be. It's no excuse to be ugly.
Yeah, you're right. I think you said that before. I think I heard you say that before. There's no excuse to be ugly.
Well, maybe I did, but I mean, not to say the ugly is a bad thing, but I'm saying if you are not happy in America, and let's talk about if you really wanted to live your life online, you get a filter and be the most gorgeous, beautiful, as handsome as whatever on earth, okay?
You're right. You change sexes and everything. Like you change gender and all
everything. It's like nothing's unchangeable now. And it's affordable. And now that people got PPP loans, oh my God, these motherfuckers. Woo, they took that money and did some wild shit. I'm telling you, some wild shit.
People buying cars and houses, all types of shit. They was going
right?
crazy.
Getting surgery. They was putting out hit on niggas. Motherfuckers was buying shitloads of guns. Like motherfuckers really took that money and was like, all the shit I wanted to do, I'm doing. Boom, in one hit.
It was one shot. Like, I got it. I got the bread. And I'm going to do it. No,
yeah, it was the putting out hits on people for me. Okay, like with people, I read the news daily. People? Huh?
That was happening in Baltimore. Like people like putting out hits on other people.
The one I think was in Texas, and then it was one I think in Virginia. I can't remember the states, but I definitely read 2 confirmed news stories that 2 people were murdered with PPP loan money. Like this one girl, she murdered her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend while she's pushing the baby, a 2-year-old kid. And then this other guy, he put a hit out on somebody with his PPP loan. I don't know. This was just to the streets. But the fact that these Negroes took these PPP loans and put hits out on motherfuckers.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. But that just goes to show you niggas don't need money sometimes. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it.
Right. They're right.
Because according to the neighborhood, I'm sure that lady that put that hit out could have used that money for her kids, could have used that money for some schooling, some food, shelter, transportation. But you wanted to put a hit out on a bitch for a nigga you not even with. You need no money.
Nah, you're right about that. You're right about that. She don't need none of that.
It's crazy.
Don't. So how did you how and when did you get started in comedy? Like, what made you want to be a comedian?
I always was a writer, and I would do a lot, but I would periodically, I would write in notebooks and stuff. And it's funny because I actually have my notebook right behind me. I write to this day. So it was after I had like my 4th child. I was looking through my notebooks and I'm just reading back of years. I'm like, this shit is so fucking funny. And I've never been afraid to publicly speak my mind. So I told my husband at the time, I'm like, I want to do stand up. I feel like I'm funny. I asked him to look over some of my writings. He was like, it's funny, but he's looking at it like it's funny, but this some bullshit for real. But he wouldn't, say that. And, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it was some bullshit because writing something in a notebook and actually translating it to laughter on stage is so different. It's definitely a skill that has to be learned. And yeah, so that was the beginning of the wheel turning. And actually, I didn't even do it then because I waited until my youngest son was 6. Because I'm like, if I'm going to commit and invest in this, I need these kids to be in school. Like I need it to be a healthy situation. And so I waited a few more years after that. And I just hit the road and I hit the road running and I've never stopped since then. I'm going into year 13.
That's what's up. Yeah, have you ever been in Jersey?
That kid just turned 19. So yeah.
So yeah, those youngest, so they all at the house. So you can do what you want to do now. Basically, you out and running.
I can do exactly what I want to do, and it's so freeing. Like I talk about it on stage. I'm like, I wish running away was made normalized because I want these kids gone a long time ago. But I'm glad. I'm glad that they're all safe, healthy, because Baltimore is not the place to be really raising kids. So yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore is a wild place. Like I heard, people see this the Wire and other other shows like that. But I know a few people from from Baltimore, and actually it's kind of pretty wild out there. Like I think it was East Baltimore or something like that.
Wow. What'd you say?
Is it like East Baltimore is like one of the wildest spots out there?
Well, I raised my kids in West Baltimore, but I live in East Baltimore now. So,
okay.
And it's the same. People want to compare, oh, East better than West, but the motherfuckers is the same. Same shooters, same killers, same junkies, same motherfuckers on both sides of the city. Like,
both sides of the fence.
One killer ain't no better than the other. When you think because one killer dressed better than the other killer, they better killers. Fuck out of here. Like these the same niggas. The same motherfuckers. Because you had that debate with people, oh, West Side niggas, but no, they not. Same motherfuckers.
Same motherfuckers.
Just
they come
different
from the same
styles.
town.
That's it.
Yeah. That's how it is here in Trenton and like Jersey as well. Have you performed in Jersey before, or would this be your first time?
I performed in Trenton, Newark. A guy by the name of, I don't know if do you know Sleepy Floyd? He's a comedian out of, I think he's in Trenton or Newark.
Probably Newark.
But he's a really long running comedy show. He's booked me several times in Jersey. I've been all over Jersey. But the most I've been in Jersey is when I first started, and I was in the Laugh Mob, which is Bob Sumner. And I don't know if he had us in like Roselle, New Jersey, and stuff like that. But I've done Jersey a lot. I like Jersey. Jersey is cool people. Jersey people remind me of Baltimore people, honestly.
I heard that a couple of times. Actually, I heard that a couple of times. Like, because the whole East Coast got to you live like from New York all the way down to like maybe like Baltimore, like Philly, Jersey. We all got that kind of same swag. You know what I mean?
We do.
So we all like kind of relate to each other, like So when people say the East Coast, they talking about like from Connecticut all the way down to, you know what I mean, to like Baltimore. Virginia's a little bit different. They're a little more southern, you know what I mean, than Baltimore. So
I will say about Jersey, and I believe this was Newark, New Jersey. I was in Jersey was the first place that I had.
They stole your car, did they?
No, but it was the first place that a female heckler was about that life, was about to try and walk up on stage on me. I was Will Smith 10 years ago, like 8 years ago in fucking Newark, okay? So, yeah. So, Newark, Jersey motherfuckers don't play neither, though. So,
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on where you go. I mean, you got some ones that act real wild. You got some that's real calm. But especially like you go to the cities like Trenton, Newark, Camden, Plainfield, Atlantic City's even wild sometimes. So, yeah, it get rough out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did you meet Top Flight? Because actually Top is my man. Top is my regular host, but what he does, he helps you like book the comedians to come to the show. You know what I mean? So how you and Top hook up?
Top was oh my God. So first of all, I met Top Flight through the grinding trenches in Philly. And when I started, Top was already doing his thing. Top been funny for years. And so he was already doing his somebody keeps trying to call me from Facebook. But so he'd been doing his thing for years, and I was just coming up in the ranks. And it's certain comics that you keep in touch with because 1, they're funny, 2, they're good people, and 3, they're about their business. And that was Top Flight and a few other comics out of Philly. Everybody is not your cup of tea, but that's a good dude right there. Yeah. And he's been banging out those laughs for years. I've been on shows with Top. People put me on shows with him for the last, I'm going to say 7 years. And he's a good guy. He books, if he has the opportunity, he books everyone. So, he doesn't, he might have his favorites, but he gives everybody a chance. And I like that about Top.
Yeah, because I had like comedians from all over come to the show that we put together. You started the show, Tickle My Funny Bone. We started it a few years ago, about like 2017, 2018, something like that. So like we running before the COVID, we was running for like 3.5 years straight before the COVID. Of course we had to take the little break because of COVID. But
that COVID was just a mess.
Yeah, so how did you adapt to that? How did you because you couldn't go out on the road, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't really, do what you love and do what you get paid for. Like, how did you adapt to that?
So prior to COVID, I was on like a small hiatus, meaning I was doing a mental check. You know, my mom had passed in 2018, and I just, you know, I was off balance. And we know when we off. I'm a type of person, I can admit, when I'm mentally and physically. You're in the show, okay. I don't know if I should keep talking. Okay, yeah. So I can admit when
I'll put you
I'm
on
not...
on the solo spotlight, like the camera's just on you.
Okay. I wasn't mentally and physically. I'm not physically. I wasn't mentally in the game. So it was. I had slowed down for a second. So when COVID hit, I had just started back booking shows, and then all of a sudden, boom. Matter of fact, the week of COVID, I was to be at the DC Improv with Tony Woods and a few other people. And I was so annoyed because you all, as a comedian, you want those improv bookings because they are the bookings that they're the gift that keeps on giving. Right.
Right.
So COVID hit. That show was March, I think the 20th or the 19th, but COVID shut it all down. What I did was, during COVID, I came up with an idea that I always thought about in comedy, and I started a female comedy group called She More Funny. And
Instagram page,
yeah, and we just went out, risked it all, and we started touring during COVID. We started literally touring during COVID.
Besides Atlanta, I know everybody else had met like crazy restrictions. I know Atlanta was still wide open. So how was that?
Atlanta was our first stop. Atlanta was our first stop. Now that you mentioned it, you're so right. That was our first stop. And because I always liked the ladies. I love the ladies. And I love the males. Like my idols in comedy are males, but it's so hard for women. We have such a struggle that I like to try and assist the women. And people tell me all the time, leave them motherfucking bitches alone. I'd be like, no, I can't. Like, I want to sometimes, but I'll be like, no. Like,
yo, I love this is my second all female lineup that I had with my shows. And I love it because I think me personally, y'all bring a little bit extra to the show. You know what I'm saying? As a female comedian, I know. For one, the game is like this industry is like any other industry, as far as females being in the industry, like feels like music, even the workplace. Period. Like they got to do a little bit more extra to be noticed. You know what I mean?
Yes, we do. We do.
So like,
how you overcome that? Extra funny.
Right, extra funny. That would mean extra funny. You know what I'm saying? So how do you overcome all that?
We got to be extra funny.
Exactly. Definitely. What I was about to say. Oh yeah. Because you know how like men be comedians, they be able to talk about anything, like but to talk about women, they talk about themselves and all that. Like, do you think you have to be extra explicit as far as like to compete with like some male comedians?
No. And I think it's the reverse. I didn't want to fall into that trick bag. I literally have one dick sucking joke, and through like my whole set, I have one dick sucking joke, and I might not even bring it out all the time. I just think it's a double standard when it comes to women. Somebody say, "Oh, you just talk about your kids or dick or this." Well, that's what the fuck y'all be talking about. Pussy, grabbing bitches, all this. I mean, I don't really see a big difference in what women and men talk about. I just see different perspectives and point of views and different approaches to the jokes. I don't really, and you got a lot of men that'll come in with a preconceived idea that women are not funny, and women are funny.
Yeah. I mean, I met a lot of funny female comedians, and like I said, it is a male-dominated industry, like any other industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So you know, like when you first came in, do you feel like you had to really like go harder just to get noticed as a female, like to get that those slots and everything?
I had to go harder, and of course, back then, 13 years ago, a sister was fine, right? So I had to go harder, but I had to make sure that I maintained a comfortability level for the women in the audience as well. And that's a line that usually men don't have to walk. Men, a lot of times, don't have to worry about how they look or how they're perceived as by other men in comedy. But women, we have to look and make sure that the women like us, that the men like us. Because if the women don't like us, it's a no-go. Okay, let's just be real. It's a no-go. That bitch, they're gonna be like, oh, you laughing? Okay, so it's just we had to walk a tightrope. Now, what I will say is, in the last 10 years, mainstream is making it easier to be sexy as a comedian. Right. So it's less pressure on us to however we look. You know, mainstream is doing that, and comedy follows mainstream. I don't care how black and urban, but whatever white people put before us on TVs and in movies and on specials is what trickles down to the norm. And so they've made it easier for women to be sexy in comedy.
Right. Yeah, do you have any? Just doing it. Like, because like I said, you got some female comedians that is really raw. Like they talk about whatever. You know what I'm saying, you got someone that's more conservative. Do you have any female comedians that has inspired you, that you look up to?
Definitely. I'm like a fan of Melanie Camacho. I think she's such an underrated female comedian. That lady is brilliant. Her mind, she doesn't have writers. And one thing about it, when you get a certain level, you get writers. I like the ground level, the in the mud. You know, I like, and these newer comics that are newer comedian or younger comedians that I like. I like the Jess Nishas. I like the Corey B's. But it's not a lot of them. Okay, right. It's not a lot of originality out here with stand-up comedians. I like Lunel. I like the Coco Browns. Coco Brown to me is really inspirational as well. Then you have, go way back, you have the Sylvia Traymores. There's so many ladies I could name. But it's a lot of new girls, and it's a few of them that are really, really funny and are really real writers. I appreciate a writer.
Right. So you write your own jokes yourself, though, right? You write. I mean,
yeah.
Because
I study, and so I know hack shit, and I know stolen shit when I see it. I don't care how much you try and cover it up with your little shit. And so that's what I'm a student of comedy. So I'm like, you ain't nah, sis. That ain't you, baby.
What do you think about I can't pronounce her name, but she used to go on the shows with Cat Williams. What's her name? Lunel?
Lunel? I like Lunel. Yeah. I've actually featured for Lunel twice.
Oh yeah?
She's a good lady. It was it was great. If I told you this story, it's so listen. These both of my Lunel stories are crazy. Like, I featured for her at the Baltimore Comedy Factory in Baltimore, probably about 3 to 4 years ago. And then I featured for her at this show in it was either Youngstown, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio. It was like one big show. The Youngstown, Ohio, the promoter was sloppy. Like, people ain't get paid. Yeah, listen, it happened, okay? But I know Lunel got paid, and I got paid, but I know people who didn't get paid. So, no, this shit was bad. When I tell you bad, I mean bad to the sense where this guy, he had an auditorium. Okay, so the thing is, I think this auditorium held about 2,500 people, right? But I think about 500 people showed up.
Oh, I know he's right.
So he took an L.
Right.
And I think that he was waiting for that day and thinking people were going to like bum rush in droves to get these tickets, right? Because he had did a lot of radio airplay for this show. I found a lot of this stuff out after the fact. So anyway, so somebody's still talking about this. Anyway, long story short, it was, let me tell you, I was sold. This wasn't even a big paying show for me. I think the guy gave me $700. he gave me like $250 in a deposit and $700. And I was just to come open, but he provided transportation and a room. So I'm like, okay, this sounds like fun. Like I'm gonna go have a good time or whatever, right? Get there. He has the limo bus. I'm checked into the Marriott. Nice room. Everything is nice. And then we got the show. We got the after party. I'm at the show. He got security. He got security for me. I'm like, okay, I got me a security guard. Listen, when the show was over, before the show was over, while Lunel was on stage, this nigga got gone. I'm like, here's the promoter. I'm walking around looking for him because he had came into my room and said, in like 20 minutes, he was going to come in with my envelope for my payment. I'm like, okay. So while Lunel on stage, I'm walking around looking for him. They're like, oh, he went over to the after party, that venue. And I'm like, this don't even, why was he even not doing my money? Get over to pause. Leave out the show. The limousine van that he bought for us, the party bus. Oh, I can't take y'all nowhere because he ain't paid me my balance. Excuse me, sir? What you just said? Then, okay, so now we got to get a cab from the venue. I'm like, this don't look good because I'm with another comedian from DC and his friend. I'm like, this shit don't look good, right? Yo, like he ain't paid the limo driver and he ain't leave and give me my money. So mind you, I rocked that shit too. So now I'm upset because I had a good set. So we get over to this after party, right? And we all up in there and we think we about to get some food and all this stuff. And then the security guy said, well, we're gonna have to give her leave because the bill not paid and they about to shut everything down. I said, what? I'm upset, right? When I tell you I'm upset to the point where tears is about to come out my eyes. Now, my security guy was this promoter's brother. He had a security firm in Ohio. So he pulled me aside. He said, listen, I'm not gonna let them do this to you. How much they owe you? And I told him, I said, he owe me $500. He said, all right. He said, I'm gonna get you your money, but you cannot tell nobody, right? He said, please don't tell nobody. So I said, all right, because I guess if I told everybody else, they gonna want their shit too, right?
Yeah, they gonna come under them. Yeah, hell yeah.
So I was keeping that secret that night. So he left. He came back about 10 minutes later. He had my money. I was happy. Now, mind you, I'm still acting sad, like I ain't got paid and shit, right? So we catch another cab to the hotel. Fine. I got my money. I'm like, I will never, ever, ever. I'm thinking of all the shit that I'm never going to do again that I did with this show, right? So I tell the guys, I'm like, look, we leaving at 9 a.m. So we get our shit together about 8:39. I'm calling everybody. We walking out the room, and then the lady at the front desk say, are you in room so and so? Because we need the card for the room. Oh, I'll be right back, ma'am. Hold on, I'm gonna go get my purse. When I tell you we got in my car, when we skidded out that motherfucker, I was like, this motherfucker didn't even pay for the room.
This nigga, yo, he was.
How did you do that?
That's like that movie, Jiggy Promoters, with Ice Cube and Mike Epps.
So I think I DM'd, was it when I seen Lunel again? I was like, did you get your money? She was like, girl, I got my money from that sorry motherfucker. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Because I'm thinking she got her money. I would think Lunel probably went on stage until she was paid in full. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. I don't think she went on stage until she was paid in full. And when you of that caliber, and I really hate to say this, but it is true. When your status becomes a certain level and the whole show depends on you, you can ask for your money, all your money in full before.
Yeah, you can.
But you can do it at any level. But the urgency when you are the show gives you more leverage, you know?
Right. And yeah, you definitely, I mean, like I said, you got some promoters out there that just don't respect the game. I mean, they see that the crowd ain't buying them tickets. they know they're gonna take a loss, and they you know what I mean. You ask Top, like me and Top went through that before not me paying, but where the crowd didn't show up. You know what I'm saying, this is when we like really started working together, and he tells this joke all the time. In fact, when I interviewed him last week, he was telling like, yeah, like at the end of the show, like in the night, like yo nigga, you gotta pay me. I'm like, no problem, bro. Like I hit the ATM because as a promoter, you want to make sure you got that money on reserve. So just in case the crowd don't show up. You know what I mean? Like you should be putting together shows that, especially not that caliber, and you can't afford to pay people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Because to me, that guy spent his money on everything but the talent. Like you did radio ads, you had to pay for this big ass theater or whatever. And so you had party buses and catered after parties and shit. All that shit wasn't even necessary for real.
Right. So he did a whole bunch of stuff that he didn't need to do. And now he had, you know what I'm saying, facing the consequences. But shit happens. So what about the time y'all was in Baltimore? Like how did that go? How did that turn out?
Baltimore was great. Lunel is very picky. And Baltimore is great. No, Lunel is like Lunel. Like she's going to be herself. She does not really change for people. And she tells you exactly what's on her mind. And so I think like our third show in Baltimore, these young ladies, somehow somebody like these young ladies get to the green room and we share the green room. And so I walked outside the door and they're like, oh my God, it's Lunel in there. And I'm like, yeah, she in there. Can I go? I don't know. Like, I can't give you access to this room, but I can go check with her and see if she's willing to say hi to you guys. So I'm like, yeah, Lunel, these two girls outside, they want to say hi to you. Is it okay? Do you tell them to go away? What's the deal? Lunel was like, let them in. You know how she did. So the girls came in, and one of the girls, I forgot, she said some crazy shit to Lunel. Because mind you, I wasn't all the way invested in the conversation because I was busy talking to other people myself. Right. And Lunel was like, get them out of here, basically. And was like, rate them, you people. I was like, I don't know them people. She was like, well, you just let strangers in. I said, well, I asked you first. Oh, I thought they was coming in on your time. I'm like, no, ma'am, I don't know no motherfucking bitches. I don't know no more. I don't give a fuck about them bitches. But they're just going with that. So now it's like, yeah, don't be letting no random strangers. And I'm like, listen, I can't even ask you. But anyway, long story short, that was the spice in that situation. It was cool though. I mean, she don't hold grudges. She's good people.
Yeah, she seemed like she like because she was like her set is like real explicit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh, she gonna talk her shit.
Oh yeah.
She gonna talk her shit.
Cause I think Cat Williams came to Trenton years ago. I think about like in 2000, I think 10, something like that. When he's at like pretty much close to his peak. He came to Trenton and he sold out the arena here in Trenton. And I think that she was with him at that time too. So like I seen her.
Yeah, I'm sure she was, and I know she's with him now. Yeah. She's like the auntie that gets drunk and have no filter on her mouth. Like that good auntie that know how to read people. Like Lunel is that good auntie that can pick up on people's characteristics and attributes and their body language. She know where niggas coming from because she done been through a lot. She like that auntie when you around her.
Yeah, she's that auntie, definitely. And we all got at least one or two in the family. On both sides, on top of that.
On both sides, yes.
So you know Timmy Hall from Baltimore?
I do. I actually have 2 shows coming up with Timmy. I just did his 10 for 10. He had a really dope show here like about a week and a half ago. It was called a 10 spot. It was a good show. That was one for the books. Yeah, and I don't say that about every show, but that one was one for the books.
He was just headlining my last show.
Yeah, he's funny.
I had him up here twice too. I mean,
I started up under Timmy.
Yeah. How was that whole experience working with the Baltimore police policeman comedian. This last comedian.
Timmy is a stickler. Okay, so all comics are different, but one of Timmy's great attributes is he also is a writer. And Timmy believes in doing comedy by the books. He doesn't believe in really
old school.
Yeah, he's old school. He don't really believe in coming on stage, talking shit about people, veering off from the script. Like Timmy is say these jokes, do your set, make sure that shit is funny, and keep doing your set, which is the traditional way to be a headliner in comedy. But you know, things change. I wasn't always the one that, you know, listened. So he threw me away so many times. Like, I'm done with you. You don't fucking listen. I'm done with your ass. I'm like, okay, I needed to say that. So, but he's very funny. He's one of the most talented. In Baltimore right now, I have Timmy and Larry Lancaster. These are my top two faves out of Baltimore. I'm talking about as far as headliners are concerned.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a lot of headliners. You have Stacey Carver, you have your Lonnie Davises. Like Baltimore has a lot of very, very funny. And when I say very, I mean very funny male comics. You got Lonnie Davis. I don't know if you ever worked with Howard G.
Yeah, Howard G came up. As a matter of fact, is he coming up? I think. All right, I got to look at my flyers. I was like bringing them in from all over.
You got so many. Cleon the comedian. That's my little brother.
Cleon.
He out here getting it, and Cleon is funny. It's a lot of comedians in Baltimore, male comics that are out here doing their thing that are really.
You know, Maria Sanchez. She's an upcoming young lady comedian.
I do know Maria. Yeah,
she's strong with it. She's strong with it too. She came to a couple of my shows.
Yeah, she's a part of She More Funny.
Oh, she is.
My comedy group is Maria, D-Lo, and Woo Woo and myself, and all of them girls they're beasts. They have their own identity. When you get She More Funny, you are definitely getting 4 totally different stories. People always want to say, "Oh, all y'all sound alike." No, we do not. We do not. We are so polar opposite of one another. It's a really good show because each one of us represents something.
Right, something different. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So y'all actually put together shows with She More Funny. Actually,
we tour together. We're actually touring now. We have show dates now. Okay. It's just hard to keep She More Funny. Like our next, we have a few, but our next big one, I believe, is June the 19th. We'll be at the DC Comedy Law. And that's going to be a good show. But we have a lot of shows. I don't know right offhand, but we have a lot of shows together because it's a really good mix of women. I can't say it enough. Like, I'm not going to brag on something just because it's me or because it's my project. No, these women are boss women. They're funny. It's 4 totally different stories on that stage, and people come out thoroughly pleased.
Absolutely. Do you think of course, I'm gonna do like another revert, I'm reframing the question again. Now, for all female lineup, you have to promote the show a lot harder, or you really think you got to go even harder for like all female lineup? Like people don't, you know.
I have to promote the show harder because we are still on this level when we are trying to make it to this level. And name recognition is everything in stand-up comedy. And unfortunately, and not that I haven't done it, I mean, like, baby, it's not even, but until you get to a certain level of name recognition, you're always going to have to work hard to promote yourself until you get some kind of machine behind you. It just, it's just a matter of time.
Okay.
So until one of us have that machine behind us that is like banging out this shit, and then we can say, "Hey, She More Funny, come see these ladies," or we can get a special or something. It's going to be funny. But we have a page, and on our page, I'm telling you, everybody that follows our page is a fan of ours. Like, they DM us, they come out and support us, and that's the difference with having 100,000 followers and 10,000 is your fan. And on our page, we got 700 followers and 700 are fans, you know?
Right. It's more intimate. It makes the whole organic, more organic. And people really enjoy what y'all do and they love what y'all do. So yeah, 100,000 followers, they might just go in there and look at it and go back off. But you got 700 or 1,000 followers, those are the ones that actually are following you, watching it, what y'all do, loving it, sharing it. You know what I'm saying? And getting it out there.
DMing us, asking us where are we next. Our last 2 She More Funny shows have been sold out. You know, even granted they were in Maryland, but we didn't know people in these places.
Oh, that's what it's supposed to be. Like you want to sell out everywhere. I mean, no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what's up. So, what was like one of your best shows like you ever had like over the past 13 years? What thing you think was one of your best shows?
The best show I feel I've had, and unfortunately, I don't even think this guy would even remember, is when I had a chance to open for Cedric the Entertainer. And it was at the Meyerhoff in Baltimore. And to me, I only got to do 5 minutes, but it was the best 5 minutes. And, you know, just the whole laughter, the whole ambiance of the situation was amazing to me. And I've had opportunities to work with some amazing headliners at different stages in my career. And I haven't found, I don't think, one that I necessarily like lock and key with, because the thing about working with a headliner is y'all gotta mesh. And and I'm talking about styles, lifestyles, you know. A lot of people take people on a road with them that they connect with or have been with for a long time.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that. They take someone on the road with them that actually they rather have them there than find some random person, you know what I mean? So
right. And myself, I've enjoyed going on the road with certain people only because I know it's not fake and phony. Like, I know where these people stand. Like I've done a lot of feature spots with Teddy Carpenter. People don't understand that man is a fucking comedy legend. Like, he's so funny. Like, he's a writer's writer. You know, I know, and he's difficult. I know, I understand all that. But listen, you ain't got to tell me nothing, okay? But and people like Ali Sadiq, like I would like to travel with him. When I featured for him like about 3 weeks ago, he's also a writer. I'm the type of person that loves to look at writers, people who really put thought into their material and it comes out genius. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna find. I mean, maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna say I'm gonna find it. I might be my own headliner before it's all said and done. But yeah, that was a good one. Okay. That whole Teddy look, boy, you just took me out, honey.
What was one of your worst shows? Like, you ever? I mean, I'm pretty sure every once in a while somebody you bomb one time in your life. Like, what was one of your worst shows?
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I try and listen. They sit with you so. Look, them bomb shows sit with your spirit so bad, right? Then after a while, you try and forget them, right? Because you don't need that demon in your spirit, right? But I will say, the bomb show that I never forget, and because it was a lot of principles to it, was about 10 years ago. Ray booked me in Philly to do a Mother's Day show, which is Mother's Day is coming around.
Right,
I was probably about 2 years in, right? And I'm a firecracker. I'm from Baltimore. I came into comedy like basically how I was living my life. I went hard. I go hard. I'm in the hood. I just was being me. So he booked me for this Mother's Day show, and I'm thinking he had like I don't know if it was B flat. I'm gonna say it was B flat, Dawn B. It was a couple other funny girls. Funny, B flat. If I mention her, B flat is one of my fucking idols in this game. That lady gets it in, right? Mm-hmm. So he puts me on. The ladies come in there. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening. They done came from church. Honey, these ladies got their hats on like this was some upper echelon. They got all the 3 pieces on their suit. You hear me? These ladies was about all of that sophisticated life. I come in there. I get on stage. Yeah, fuck them motherfucking kids. Badass motherfuckers. Instantly.
You know what? And sometimes the silence is worse than boos because you like, oh shit, nobody laughing. Nobody saying nothing.
Silence is way worse than boo. I've never been booed, but I have gotten that silence a couple of times. So nothing I said after I said fuck them kids went anywhere. All that shit fell to the ground, went out the window, went out the door. Those ladies wasn't understanding shit I was saying. You hear me? Nothing. They wasn't with none of that shit. So I got off stage. Mind you, I felt like I looked over and I felt like the other ladies on the show was laughing at me because, you know, it's nothing funnier than seeing as a comedian seeing another company crash on that stage. I felt like these bitches was laughing at me, right? So me and hubby, because I took my ex at the time, me and him, I'm like, I'm ready to go. We walks out the back door, but like, we find a way. He sneaks up out that motherfucker, right? I'm not gonna sit and take that humiliation all night. Next thing you know, about 5 hours later, Ray is calling me. Why you leave without your money? I'm like, oh man, fuck that money. I was like, I don't need that money. He's like, no, you never leave without your money. And I'm like, oh, I did terrible. They didn't let me. He's like, I don't care what you did. You showed up. You did what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get your money. Life lesson in this game. You never leave without your money. I'm like, okay. I'm good. I'm in Baltimore, sir. I'm not coming. I don't give a fuck. Like, I wanted that shit to be over.
Get him out of
but
here.
That's the most memorable crash and burn that I've had. You know, that shit right there. That shit was terrible.
Sometimes it's all about reading your crowd. You know what I'm saying? They read the crowd and see what it is. Because some jokes ain't for some people. You know what I mean? So like I booked a couple comedians and they shit was not right for the crowd. Like they didn't get no laughs.
What you said was key. Reading the crowd. But what people don't understand is that takes years of experience to do.
Right, it takes practice. Yeah,
you have to be experienced. That takes doing many crowds and observing many shows to understand how to read your crowd.
Right. You said about 10 years ago. That's about like your second or third in the game.
Yeah, it was about my second year. Yeah, it was about. I was very listen.
It was fresh. Yeah, it was fresh.
Motherfuckers was booking me. This goes back to this being a little bit cute, right? Motherfuckers was booking me, but I wasn't ready. So when people book you, you might think you're ready, and that shit show you ain't ready, sis.
You ain't ready. Yeah.
You're not ready. And in those experiences, let me know, like, yo, it's certain levels and certain steps that you have to go through in this game to be solidified. You know, that a nigga can book you and walk off and just leave you because they know that for 45 minutes to an hour, you're going to do your thing.
Tear that shit
People
down.
can trust you on stage.
Right. So, cause like we just started like an open mic. You know what I'm saying? Cause I feel the same thing. Like some comedians ain't ready for another that next level. You know what I'm saying? So after you did that, after you've been to that situation, did you like restart your whole process? Did you go to more open mics, or did you do more stuff like did you develop your skills more?
I just did a podcast where I was like, I was totally prostituted as a new comedian. Meaning these motherfuckers in Baltimore had me selling tickets and shit. You know, I was just a fucking whore. But let me tell you, I wouldn't give the experience back for anything because whatever I get today, I've earned it. Like I can really say I went through the steps, I've earned it. I've got a lot of growth to do, but yes, I did the open mics. I sold the tickets. I actually took comedy classes at Gotham's, which a lot of comics don't even do. I did some of the things that I felt I needed to do to understand the business, to understand this whole comedy mindset, to understand what needs to be done. And I tell people all the time, this is the only business where you can get abused and then 10 years later appreciate your abusers. Like, oh my God, you did this, but I so appreciate you did this shit to me because it made me a better person, better comedian. You know you're supposed to have to pay me, and I did it for free, but that's okay.
For free, right? That's
it's okay. Y'all pimp me, y'all prostitute me. That's okay. I grew from it.
That's what's up. Like, people don't understand. Like, it's work. No matter. I mean, any craft that you decide to take on, you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying?
You got to.
I tell people that all the time. I tell people that all the time because, like, even with being a promoter, I'm saying it's a niche to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know what the hell you're doing. Like, you gotta know how to approach people. You got to know how to work with people. You know what I'm saying? If not, then you're gonna get money out there. So, like,
definitely in stand up at that time, I always look back to when I started stand up, and I can truly say that it was only myself and really one other female comedian that was doing what it took to be done, and that was stiletto. Like, and to show that we were doing that needs to be done, we have careers now. Like, it was no shortcuts to this shit. I know I started with a lot of women in this business, and from day one, and it's very few that are still around that did what it needed to be done. It was a stiletto. Then about 2 years later, Maria Sanchez came along. I kind of like mentored Maria for years. Maria had to go through her growth process. So, I mean, very few of the women actually last in this business. And that's the God's honest truth, who can make a career out of doing stand-up.
Would you think it's because of the pressure, or like they're just not built for it?
It's just not made easy for women. I'm telling you, it's not made easy. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the side, it's not made easy. And the business always pits women like we're in competition with one another. And they don't do that with you.
Is it like a lot of cat fighting behind the scenes when you come together with a bunch of female comedians?
My cat fights, listen, first of all, I don't cat fight with women over getting work in stand-up. I try and help people get work. People have called me about people I don't even fuck with. But if it's a female, and I be honest, if it's a female and she's funny, you should put her on your show. I don't cat fight with women about comedy. I cat fight with some of these bitches about some other type shit, but not about funny. Like, I'm just real particular. Like, I want to see women win, because when a woman wins in this business, I'm winning too. It's not just about me. It's about the other women too that have my same story. And so that's what I'm always looking at. Okay. Because honestly, white women, you don't know their name. They making a living off of
making a lot of money. Yeah, because I mean,
these women are making $300,000-$400,000 a year easy. And you'll be like, have you heard of so and so? You be like, who? But you can hear of a Ray Diva, and Ray Diva had car broke down. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
I know my money supersedes her money any day.
Right.
So that's why you gotta have that mentality to want to see the others that's in your lane make it, because it makes it easier for the other ones of us to make it. And everybody don't think like me. Every woman don't think like me. Some of these women, they want to be the only one. And it don't matter to me. That's fine. Me, I'm thinking about any other Black woman that's trying to make it and stand up. Why we can't reap the rewards of our sacrifices, because we sacrifice our families, our kids, our livelihoods, just like everybody else.
Exactly. Because I've been learning a lot. Like, I'm a fan of comedy, period. Besides being a promoter, I love comedy. You know, so I've always been a fan of comedy. And a lot of comedians talk about like crossing over. I guess that's when you start doing more white clubs than the black clubs and everything. Is that something that you have to do in order to be successful? Like, because that's what these white comedians, the white lady female comedians, they're doing all white clubs. You know, so they're not doing any black clubs. So is that something you have to do in order to get that recognition?
I hate that sometimes yes and sometimes no. Depending on your journey, Lunel, she does white audiences, but she has not changed her material too much. The only thing that Lunel required of me when I featured for her was she didn't want you to say the word nigga. Fine, I got it. That's every headliner has their own preference, and that's their that's for them. So that was fine. But you had people that didn't really cross over that became mainstream. But yeah, a lot of times they do tell you gotta cross over, but you don't tell white people that they gotta be black.
Right. Because they say they do like the music business. Like if you underground, like you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you in the ghetto, you in the hood. But once you cross over, that's when everybody buy your shit. You know what I'm saying that's when they think
right.
You fell
exactly.
off, or you sold your soul because you went platinum, or you sold. No, I mean some amount of music. And I guess it's the same thing with comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like because they say about Dave Chappelle, but Dave Chappelle, who was it? Like a lot of people talk about Dave Chappelle. It's like he really didn't do too many black clubs. You know what I'm saying? Most of the clubs he did was like white comedy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of propelled him to that next level because we was doing his comedy at.
He was doing black clubs in the beginning because I've had conversations with like the vets, like the Tony Woods and comics was like, we brought this nigga out. He wasn't even old enough to be in a club in DC, but they were urban clubs. I guess at some point the crossover came, and I don't know why, because I still feel like Dave Chappelle, he's a comedian, but I don't know, me personally still see the black in his material. I don't know.
Right.
If, you know.
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, because he does talk his shit. I mean, he does talk his shit. I mean, and it is a lot of little black in his material.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of his regardless. I mean, he just get a lot of slack for the trans jokes. He get a lot of slack for that shit though. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, is it freedom of speech or is it freedom of speech?
Speaking of freedom of speech, I'm glad you brought that up.
And I don't have anything against trans, gay, pan, whatever you call yourself. Do you? But I'm just saying, are we not allowed to speak our minds, or are we allowed to not allowed to speak our minds? Tell me which one.
That's my question, because Will Smith supposedly smacked the shit out of Chris Rock for speaking his mind or telling the joke.
I love how you put that supposedly in there, because I'm with you on it supposedly. I'm with you on that.
I'm laying with my wife, like she's looking at her phone. She's laying basically, oh shit, what's it? This smack Chris Rock on the Emmys. Like what? So I looked at the video, like, nah, that's fake. But the way the people kept playing it, kept seeing, like, oh, maybe they did smack him. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? It didn't sound like a real smack
about the whole situation.
Say again?
I'm just still on the fence about that whole situation. I don't know if it's fake news. I don't know if it's propaganda. I don't know if it was real. It's just, it don't sit right with my spirit is what I'm saying.
Right. Because if you hear the sound, it don't sound like a real smack. If a hand hits a face, that's skin, that skin touches skin contact. It's a totally different sound because it kind of sounds muffled. Feel me? So I don't know. But
we can talk about it. I mean, I'm just saying. I agree with you.
If he did smack Chris Rock, how would you feel? How would you feel about this whole situation about like him smacking him over a joke that wasn't even that harsh? Like, how do you feel about the whole situation? It
wasn't that harsh. I think it was a good joke. I think it fit the audience. I thought it was, if somebody really feels like that, just for them to understand, it's not going to go that way, like how the Oscars went.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I've seen motherfuckers walk up on the stage. I've seen people walk on stage with niggas and the shit ended different. So I mean, it did. I'm just being honest. Like being in Baltimore, it's just the trenches. Like, yo, we is in the hood all the time. We got to do the chitlin circuit. I've done the chitlin circuit in New York. People are not really walking up on the stages. Now, I have seen some shit happen. And I've seen some niggas be scared to leave the club because motherfuckers is in the parking lot waiting on your ass. I have seen that. It's rare. It's rare. Right. And we don't want to normalize that because we have a job to do. We just doing our job.
Think about it. If you can't, a comedy show, you gotta go to expect either get picked on, laughed at, or whatever, because it's a comedy fucking show. You know what I mean? I said the front row one time,
it's all in humor.
And I got picked
on. All in a good time.
Yeah. So
I thought that he said a very respectable joke. I did see no wrong in what he said. Like, I'm being honest. I thought the shit was funny. Actually, I thought it was watered down and whitewashed if you really technically ask me.
Right. Like he could have went harder. Like, cause you know, Chris. I mean, that nigga. That's part of his whole act is picking on people. You know what I mean?
Right, and like that shit that he said was watered down. It was not a bad joke. It wasn't a smack in your face joke. It just wasn't. We know that if that was real, that smack came from some other type of shit. It wasn't from that G.I. Jane shit.
Right. Absolutely, no doubt. Well, look, I want to thank you for coming on to the podcast today. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I mean, I
thank you. This is very good.
Listen, it's something it's a new podcast we started because I want to be interviewing all the comedians from as much as possible from all over the place, becoming comedians. I'm trying to get them all on this show, on this podcast. You know what I mean? I want to thank you for, even though you didn't come through yet, but being here come Saturday on the 30th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Taking my Funny Bone comedy show. Tony Bird
getting in the building.
Miss Ray Diva.
And she better not say nothing to me this time neither, because I had a little bone to pick with Miss Bird. She talked about my product.
Well, our show is non-violent.
Like, so read your labels. I'm like, leave me and my shit alone, lady.
Then we have Toya Brown is going to be hosting.
Toya.
We got a local guest comedian, Waldine Davis is going to be our local guest comedian at that night. I'm saying it's going to be a dope night. This Saturday, April 30th. Tickets are going like damn near gone. So if you ain't got your ticket yet, you better get it.
Get them because we're going to bring a hell of a show.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Because I love all female lineups myself. Because like I said, I think y'all bring some extra to the stage, to the show. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is a very, very diverse, as far as female perspective, very diverse lineup because y'all come from different walks of life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm expecting, to laugh my ass off. So definitely. But before we go, though, let us know, besides this date, what's your next date coming up? And let us know where they find you on your social media and all that.
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to pick the show that comes to my mind. Mother's Day, Magooby's Joke House, May the 8th is going to be off the hook. We got some movies already. Timmy Hall.
That's a good day. That's the following week.
Right. Mother's Day, May the 8th. But it's so many. Look, thank you. No doubt, I'm always grateful. I promise you, always grateful for work.
I tell my fans, I tell the comedians, like I'm a promoter. I can't do this shit without y'all, without the people, without the acts. I can't do it without y'all. I'm saying, thank you. You know what I mean?
And we can't do it without you. Let's be clear. This is a give take situation. You need us and we need y'all. Because if I used to get my own shows years ago, and like I'm only going to do 3-4 shows a year. Honestly, but I mean, shit.
Yeah, I do this shit. I can do that. I do that in a month sometimes.
Right. We need y'all. Let me come show you what I can do so I can be on your next 5 shows.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so what's that social media?
Thank you so much.
Girls Are Funny on Instagram, right? That's the one.
The She More Funny. She HEMORE Funny.
Okay. And
it was really I really had a group called Be More Funny as well, which we still around, but then I made it to She More Funny.
She More Funny. And also your personal pages, Ray Diva TV on Instagram, right?
Yes.
It's spelled the way it sounds. Ray, RAYDIVA TV.
DIVA. Yeah, or just Ray Diva 1. I have a Ray Diva 2, a backup page, because niggas always they take your shit. They took my TikTok page. They take your stuff. They don't really care. I'm about to join Donald Trump Truth platform because I feel like I can say whatever the fuck I want to say on there. I'm about to check that out.
No doubt. But listen again, I want to thank you. I want to thank all the people that tuned in today. Make sure you can do tickets for Saturday. You know what I mean? April 30th. Take my comedy show. We only got a few left. They're moving fast. Like this is the last couple of days. You know what I mean? So I'll see y'all on Saturday. And then you said May 8th in Baltimore, right? Mother's Day?
Yeah, Magooby's Joke House. Yeah.
So if y'all out there in Baltimore, make sure y'all go see that show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to shout out everybody who's tuned in, the wife, family, kids, everybody.
A great lineup. A great lineup. Smokey Shorez, Timmy Hall, Onika McLean, CJ Cracks. Funny as fuck, CJ. It's a great lineup.
I look forward to it. I'm lying. I ain't gonna be out there. I'm sorry. I'm lying.
I know, May 8th. Look, hold on. May 8th is that busy day, okay?
Yeah.
If you not having a show, you with your folks. You with your folks if you're not having a show.
So yeah, you already know. So but yeah, yo, this has been great. I love it. I'm saying thanks for coming on again.
Thank you.
I can say thank you enough, for real.
I appreciate it.
So look, all our fans out there, we see y'all on the next podcast. I see you at the next show on the 30th. You know what I mean? It's your boy Just signing off. Tickle My Funny Bone. I'm saying it's a brand. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the show, it's a brand. Tickle My Funny Bone. That's right. All right, we out. Peace.
Okay. So you said I can go